I play a Morphage engine.
Oh, Morphage?
Goliath,
Okay.
Sloth, Lecherous, and Greed.
3, 4? What the heck?
Now,
Hey, what's going on, Raw? How you doing?
hey, what's going on?
What are you playing today?
Zefra METALFOES.
Zefra METALFOES? Yep. How is this deck?
It's pretty insane. The amount of combos that you're able to have in the deck, it can really confuse you. There are times where it will build such a big board that you'll be constantly thinking like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can put up another negate, I can put up this negate. It built so many different things, and also it's this is not only the METALFOES version, this is also Guard Dragon FTK.
Oh, really? You can do FTK with this too?
Yes, I can.
That is nuts.
You really want to do the FTK?
Yeah.
But if not, you can build a board with at least 2 to 3 negates.
2 to 3 negates? Well, 5 negates.
5 negates is nice. Or depending on how you set it up, based on my side deck, I've learned how to build a board where I can just stop everything you're doing without having to negate it.
Oh wow, that's a major strength. Awesome. Let's see this deck.
Okay, I'm gonna start off with this Zefra Treasure of the Yangzing.
Okay. What does this do?
When he is Pendulum Summon or Special Summon from the main deck, he can turn a Zefra monster. He can target the Zefra monster in the field and turn it into a tuner. And then we have Zefra, Stellar Knight. Zefra, he's the back row removal, or not even. He's basically the set removal.
Wow, that's fantastic. Kind of.
He puts in work when you need him to. We have Zefra New's Secret of the Yangzing. He is the heart and soul of this deck.
Okay.
Next to Zefra, he is the heart and soul of the deck. When he's Pendulum Summoned or destroyed by battle or by card effect, he can search a Yangzing card, or he can search a Zefra card, spell or trap, from your deck and add it to your hand.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
So pretty much the Zefra part of itself searches everything in the deck. Next we go into Ritual Beast. Ritual Beast Tamer Zefra Wendy. Wendy allows you to, when she's normal summoned or pendulum summoned, she can add a Zefra card from face up from your extra deck and add it to your hand.
Okay.
Now, most of the Zefras, they're usually once per turn. She's the only one that is not.
Okay,
she can only be special summoned once.
Okay.
But her effect to, if she's normal summoned, she'll add. If she's pendulum summoned, she'll add again.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, you have the soul of the deck. This is Zefra.
Okay.
If Zefra New is the heart, he's the soul. Zefra, unfortunately, because of Master Rule 4, he can't use his monster effect, or it's not practical to use it.
Yeah.
But his pendulum effect is where it's at. He can send any Zefra monster from the deck face up to the extra deck, and then he changes his scale to that to the scale of that monster. So he becomes if you send Zefra New, he becomes 7. His scale becomes 7. If you send Zefraxi, he becomes 1. So his thing is constantly interchangeable.
Oh wow, okay.
That's the Zefra engine.
Ooh, new engine.
At least for the monsters.
Okay.
We have 2 Dark Worm.
Oh, Dark Worm.
I think everyone knows
for the most part.
You play 1-up.
1-up, okay.
He's not really there for his effect, he's just there as an extra scale.
That's so good. So good!
Next, I played 2 Chronograph. I may bump it up to 3.
Chronograph.
This guy is awesome. I don't play the Time Gazer with it.
Okay.
Because of the next engine that I have in here that justifies why he's here. So Chronograph, basically, when there's a card destroyed on my field, anywhere on the field, he can special summon himself from his from the hand, and then special summon a monster from the hand as well. So it contributes a little bit to not having to normal summon first. The next part of the engine goes into the METALFOES part. And we play 2 METALFOES Sylvan.
Okay.
They have no effects, they have no monster effects, but the scale effect is basically you pop a face-up card on the field, and then you can set a metaphor, spell, or trap onto the board.
Oh, it's like a bunch of diagrams.
Yeah, so it plays in. So what happens is it actually plays into Proto Sorcerer, where you have the metaphors are popping things enough where you'll get things to you'll get Chrono Sorcerer to start summoning himself over.
Okay.
So I played metaphors on Gold Driver 2. This is where the strength really comes in.
Oh, Rescue Rabbit!
Where you play Rescue Rabbit.
Oh, you play those! Wow!
So I played 3 Rescue Rabbits.
Okay.
The reason being for this, he helps in terms of combo, because with the FTK you need psychics in order to make summon sorcerers.
Okay.
So with Rescue Rabbit, he can banish himself and special summon a normal monster, special summon 2 normal monsters the same name. In this case, all you're doing is just summoning. You're summoning 2 other Metaphos monsters, and then you're just linking them away for Electrolyte.
Yes.
And he also plays well with the next hand trap I play.
Really? Next hand trap? Oh, I already know what it is. I already know your secret tech. Always secret tech.
My secret tech,
always
which most people know me for, which is
I always get hit by this
Cypher
card.
Gamma.
Oh my god.
And of course the driver that goes with him.
Yeah.
Now the reason why you play Gamma, it works so well with Rescue Rabbit, is because it banishes itself off the field, and it lures out any hit. It lures out the hand traps.
Yep.
Because for the most part, you don't want somebody to go. You basically went +1 with a Rescue Rabbit. You don't want them to do that because it's a free election.
Yeah.
For the most part, they're gonna negate it, which causes Gamma to finally activate its effect.
Yeah.
If everybody doesn't know, Gamma's effect is that it can special summon itself in the hand when your opponent activates a monster effect. So it negates the effect and then special summons a driver from deck, hand, or graveyard.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now, why this is important? Why do we play this?
Why do you play this card?
There's psychics. There's psychics that go along with the FTK.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And then also, what most people don't know is, which I think they haven't accounted for, Cypher and Gamma can be special summoned by any card effect. It doesn't have to just be hits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can special them some other way?
Yeah. There's plenty of ways you can summon them with Chronograph, and you can synchro in here. You can synchro or link away, whatever you need to do.
Oh wow. Okay.
So a lot of the times, people are caught off guard because they'll look at the card like, I thought it could be special summoned by
exactly.
this, and it's not.
Nah. Joke's on you.
So, and then I played the last 2 cards, the most important to the FTK, Jiren Duo.
Oh, the little
Hurts. Basically this guy is, if he can't be destroyed by battle, your opponent inflicts damage to you, or if you take damage, he attempts to destroy himself.
Okay.
The FTK is basically, you lead it to Sorceress. Sorceress will summon him and negate the effect. It's a mandatory effect. So because it's negated, it won't destroy itself, but it will keep triggering, which will go into the FTK later.
Oh my god. Okay.
And then I play Deshudo. He's part of the FTK. Okay. He's part of the FTK too. For the most part, why not play Deshudo?
It's so good.
It's so good. It works with Gate 0 if you need it. If they start interrupting early before you get to the FTK, then you can just start building boards with Vortex or Meteor Burst, whatever you need to go into depending on whose turn it is.
Okay.
That's it for the monsters.
Okay.
Now we're getting into the spells.
Spell time.
This is the most complicated spell in the game.
Complicated? What is that?
That is Oracle of Zefra.
Oh man, there's so many effects. Oh god.
There's too many effects. I actually only really use 2 of them for the most part, but the third one occasionally comes up.
Okay.
But there's a 4th effect. So just to keep it short, once this card is activated, you can add a Zefra monster to hand. Okay. So it could be any monster in the deck, which leads into Zefra, which leads into Zefra New, which Zefra New leads into the next card, which would be Zefra Providence.
Okay.
Zefra Providence searches any Zefra monster in the deck.
Whoa, the Rhoda.
So it's a Rhoda, it searches any monster, any spell or trap, it doesn't matter. It searches everything in the deck. Okay. So they constantly snowball into each other.
Okay.
It also has a It also has a nice little neat effect in the graveyard. If any of your Zefra cards would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, then you can banish this from the graveyard instead.
Oh, really?
If they try to black rose your board,
protect
the whole board.
Oh, wow, okay. Return of Dragon Lords.
But getting into Zefra, getting into Oracle, Oracle's effect, other than adding, is it depends on what you're doing. If you're using a Zefra as material for a synchro, a ritual, fusion, or exceed, it gets an effect. So the synchro effect, it places a monster on top of the deck if you use it. If you make a synchro with a Zefra. If you make an exceed, you draw one card, discard one card. If you fuse, you special summon from hand. The most interesting one, which it depends on how you're gonna do it. I used to have a ritual version of this deck, but the ritual version, it shuffles one card on the board.
Wow, does it target?
It does not target.
Oh, it's so good.
So for the most part, you can actually use those as chain links to as a chain block. So when you sync into another monster, sometimes I'll go into Meteor Burst, and if I feel there might be, if they haven't wasted certain cards on it, like a Ghost Ogre, or if they're waiting for me to commit too much to the board, then I'll use the Meteor Burst and then I'll chain the Zefra and place the Zefra Oracle on the board and flip it on top, place a monster on top of my deck. So once you place it on top of your deck and you're chaining, it's too late. They can't do anything.
You already done your damage.
Next cards I'm going to go into is Dragon Ravine.
Play that too?
And 2 Terraforming.
2 Terraforming.
Terraforming is really here because I play 4 field cards. And Dragon Ravine is really here just to dump the Shrudo or a Dark One. And it also helps out Gamma because I usually activate this first. I'll usually activate most of the spells first to lure out hand traps. More spells. Foolish Burial for the Dark Worm and the Shrudo. Dragon Shrine.
Dark Worm and Shrudo again.
Dark Worm and Shrudo again. And then we play 1 METALFOES Fusion.
Fusion time!
So METALFOES Fusion, it's really there for the METALFOES monsters, and it also helps because I do play METALFOES Mithrilium. So Mithrilium is really just there because I play the METALFOES. But it also helps actually combo off and continues the FTK or continues building the gates. So, and then last, the 1 trap.
1 trap only?
I play Zefra Divine Strike.
This is a Solemn Judgment thing?
This is Solemn Judgment. It's free. Then going into the extra deck.
Extra deck time.
So we play, of course, the Electromite.
Oh, Triff Gaming.
Everyone knows Triff. Everybody knows Triff. He's
is he the pen god?
I don't know about the pen god.
Sorry,
but he's good. He's good.
He's not bad.
I'd be lying if I said he's bad.
That is true.
Every Pendulum deck is gonna be I think everyone knows what it does. I do play Soyuja.
Ooh.
We play Elfie. We really play it for the Dark Worm. And it also works with the side deck as well. It allows you to special summon the Shrudo, so that you don't have to go into Beatrice most of the time. Depending on what your hand looks like. Another Guard Dragon. He's really there to special summon. Most people don't realize you can special summon Vortex.
Oh wow, I can special Vortex that card? That's so good.
So you can play Vortex. You don't really have to play the Meteor Burst in if you don't want to. But it does help for the FTK. Then you play
Sorceress.
So the Sorceress, everyone knows what she does. You play the Triple Burst Dragon. This is to remove these 2 off the board because if you don't remove them off the board, because of their effects, they won't allow you to special summon anything other than a dragon. So you want to remove these guys off the board, and it allows you to kind of play around with the pointers. So you're just moving it across the board. You play. This is my favorite extra deck.
Metaphys Horus.
Metaphys Horus, the best card for Pendulums ever, especially as ever. If you don't know what it does, and it also works with the METALFOES part, just in case. So basically, in order to summon it, depending on the monster that you're using, it gains certain effects.
Yep.
So if it's a normal monster, then it becomes unaffected by card effects. If it's a effect monster, you get to target a card on the field, any face-up card, and negate it for the however long it remains on the field.
Not bad so far. What's the best one?
The best effect, of course, if you use a pendulum, you get to, your opponent gives you a monster.
They give it to you.
So they have to relinquish control. So it doesn't matter if they're unaffected by card effects. It doesn't matter if they try to move the board, they try to switch monsters or bring more monsters out on the board. They have to give me whatever monsters they have on the board.
Game mechanics.
It's my favorite monster. I can't imagine my deck without it.
Okay.
Then we play, of course, the Meteor
Burst.
The Meteor Burst.
Yep.
When it's special summon a monster from the Pendulum Zone, bring them out to the board.
Okay.
So gate 0, you're going into a ring set. Then we play Absolute. Absolute is really here. There's times where you get to use either one. Meteor Burst himself, monsters can't activate their effects during the battle phase.
Okay.
With Absolute, when he's sent to the graveyard, he can special summon an odd-eyes monster from the extra deck.
Okay.
So he doesn't really care what it is. If he attacks, or if any monster attacks, he can negate the attack, detach a material. So what you do is normally you'll detach the Meteor Burst into the graveyard to negate his own attack, and then special summon back Meteor Burst.
Oh wow. Okay.
Vortex,
negate.
little side piece about Vortex, which most people know, it can negate a spell, monster effect, or trap.
Yep.
Little fact: when it can by shuffling a pendulum monster face up from your extra deck into the deck. What usually sets up is because I play 3 rabbits. Most times, most people think rabbit is dead. Rabbit is dead after you use it the first time. No, it's not. So you shuffle, so you can shuffle back the METALFOES cards.
Okay, the
and then keep recycling them.
You're going green. I like it. Good.
Yeah. It's always good to recycle. Next set would be METALFOES Mithrilium. METALFOES Mithrilium plays into a couple of combos.
Okay.
What she does is she can target 2 METALFOES cards in the graveyard and 1 card on your opponent's field. The card on your opponent's field goes back to their hand, and then the cards that you target in the graveyard go back to the deck.
Okay.
So what I'll usually do is sometimes, depending on whose turn it was, I'll shuffle back my Electron. We only have 1, so might as well just keep reusing it.
Yep.
And then our secondary effect is when she's sent from the field to the graveyard, or when she leaves. When she leaves the field she special summons a METALFOES card face up from your extra deck or from the graveyard.
Oh wow, that's so good.
So what ends up happening is sometimes I'll fuse one of my METALFOES into Mithrilium with Electron. Then I'll link them away into Summon Sorceress. If I don't have the right cards, go into Summon Sorceress, use her effect, and then special summon METALFOES card. Use her effect, target, depending on who's in the grave, depending on who else is on the board. You can special summon Gamma.
Oh wow. Okay, that's
or Driver.
Okay.
Coral Savage.
Coral Savage.
Coral Savage card. New card. For anybody who doesn't know what he does, when he is synchro summoned, he can target a link monster in the graveyard and then equip it to himself. Then he gains Boral counters based on the link rating. So it gains, based on the rating, it gains 2.
Okay.
It gains 2 for, usually you'll do it for Electro. And what happens is, if your opponent activates a card or effect, you can remove a Boral counter off of this card, and then he'll negate the effect. Then we play Beatrice.
Beat Rice.
Beatrice, I don't know how they pronounce it. But anyway,
I just call it Beat Rice.
but she's really here because she's a fairy target.
Yeah.
And that allows you to summon during the deal.
The heart dude.
So usually you'll go into it, depending on how your combos look, you'll do it with Summon Sorceress, use her, and then you can link her away. You can send the shooter if you need to. Then
Red Eyes Full Metal.
Red Eyes Full Metal. He is there for the FTK. Any card that your opponent activates, card or effect, take 500 off.
Okay.
So he'll just keep, and it's a manual effect, so it has to keep activating.
Okay.
And then, of course, you have Agave Dragon.
Agave Dragon.
What's that do?
Now, Agave Dragon is there for the FTK. When he's link summoned, he triggers multiple effects depending on what's in the graveyard.
Okay.
So the first effect, if it's a dragon, you inflict 100.
Okay.
So that starts off the combo. That starts the combo off where it goes. Hit for 100. Jungle activates, triggers Metal Flare. Metal Flare hits them for the 500. Juro Duo isn't destroyed. Then it negates again, and then it keeps activating until you die.
This soon.
And then the worm types, whatever's in the graveyard, you gain 400 life points.
Okay.
This is actually a way, if you're going into time, this is actually the way to gain life points first, and then just end your turn.
Okay, makes sense.
Other than that, that's the extra deck.
Sounds good.
The first ones I'm actually going into. I play a Morphage.
Play Morphage?
Goliath,
Okay.
Sloth, Lecherous, and Greed. 3, 4. Now, this depends on your matchup.
Okay.
Because of their effects, all of them have the effects except for the little ones.
Okay.
So I'll go into the bigger ones first.
Big ones? Okay. Which one first?
So I'm gonna go for Goliath. It doesn't matter how he's summoned. For him, it doesn't matter. If he's face up, if he's a monster, neither player can special summon. They all share this effect, except for the little ones. They have a little bit more of a special condition, but if he's face up on the board, neither player can special summon from the extra deck except for Morphage monsters.
Okay.
Then his Pendulum effect, this is where it gets a little crazy because it depends on the matchup.
Yeah.
If you have a Morphage monster on the board, like any card that goes to the graveyard will instead be banished.
Okay.
So it works on danger. If they need to, you can just start removing things right off the board.
Yeah.
Then I'll go into Sloth. Sloth shares the same effect as a monster. If he's on the board, neither player can special summon for the extra deck. Then the Pendulum effect is if there's an Morphage monster on the board, neither player can add cards except by drawing them, except for Morphage cards.
Oh, okay.
So it's a mistake in its own.
Yeah.
Then you have a Morphage Lecherous.
Never seen this before.
Now he has to either be flipped up or pendulum summoned. But if it's either one of those, then his pendulum effect is if there's a Morphage card on the field, let's say it's Sloth, neither player can activate spell cards.
Okay.
So they all have a maintenance cost though. Every one of them during the standby phase, you can either tribute a monster to keep them on board or pop them themselves.
Okay.
This also triggers Chrono Sorcerer. Triggers him, removes them off the board so it doesn't lock you out.
Okay.
So you can lock them out for a little bit.
Sounds great.
And then you have Greed. Greed is for everybody who plays a lot of traps and annoys the crap out of me.
Okay.
I hate traps. It's like it's not a fun day.
Nope.
So basically, same effect as Lecherous when it's flipped up, or Pendulum Summon, can't summon from the extra deck.
Okay.
And then if you have an Morphage card on the board, or a Morphage monster in this case, neither player can activate trap cards.
Okay.
So it's no trap cards, it negates effects, nothing works.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if it's face up or not.
Yeah.
Or continuous. Same thing with Lecherous.
Okay. Sounds good.
So I interchange them depending on my matchup.
Yep.
And it depends if I don't feel like doing the FTK, because some people get salty about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I do play the Ghost Reapers.
Yeah.
Simply because I play Sayuja.
Yep.
I play the Guard Dragons.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much just start hitting things off out of their deck.
Makes sense.
I play Mind Control.
Yep.
This actually works in junction with another card that I play.
Okay.
I play 3 evenly matches.
Clear out boards.
Play out boards. Here's the thing. The reason why I don't like, some people will say play spear modes.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't is because in this deck, normal summoning is
Very
kind of important.
Rescue Rabbit.
Rescue Rabbit, things like that. So it's kind of important.
Okay.
Though you can special summon Rescue Rabbit by pendulum.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter. But I prefer this because it forces cards to activate.
Yep.
It forces them into a situation. Then I play 2 red reboots. I was playing 3 for trap decks because I hate traps.
Yep.
And this deck can easily OTK anyone.
Okay, time.
And then the last card I actually play is Vampire Sheridan.
Why do you play this guy? What's this guy do?
The reason being is, 1, you have METALFOES Horus. If METALFOES Horus steals a monster, if he takes a monster for an opponent, what Vampire Sheridan does is you can if you take in a monster from your opponent, you can, if it has a level, you can treat it as a level 6, and then you can exceed into it.
Okay.
So his other effect is, if you detach a material from him, you can send a card on the field to the graveyard. So he has to target, of course, but if it was a monster, then if it could be special summon, you could attach again, and then special summon the monster to your field in defense.
Nice. Okay.
So what happens is, it works with Mind Control, because you can take their monster, and then have Zefra treat it as a level 6, and then make into Sheridan.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I decided, normally I would have made it, but the extra deck is so tight, you really can't fit it in.
That's true. That's awesome. Any closing comments?
There's still a lot of work. There's still things I need to figure out.
Yeah.
Because there's so many combinations that you can make with this deck now, especially with the engine of the METALFOES.
Yep.
And depending on Gamma could just extend the combo. It could just make things stupid.
Yep.
For the most part, I love the deck. I've been playing it since ever. I've always played it. Because this deck really transformed from, it used to be Yang Zings, then it turned into Yang Zing Odd Eyes, then it turned into Yang Zing METALFOES, then it turned into, once they hit Danglong, it went right into the Zefra deck.
Yep. Right.
So since then, it's been Zefra.
Sounds awesome. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Later.